Let us leave aside for the time being the immensely difficult question of what we are to do when we ourselves hate, when we ourselves are the object of hatred, and the immensely difficult question of how one can possibly love one's enemies. Let us also leave aside for the time the immensely difficult question of how we can possibly love those who are cruel or unjust or indifferent to others. Our Lord enjoined us to love our enemies, but one of the harshest judgments he ever passed was on the man who would cause a child to stumble. The petition of Saint Francis may be taken for the moment in an easier way, namely, that he asks to be the reconciler of those who hate one another, or that he asks to be able to soften the heart of one who hates and to heal the grief and resentment and lostness of one who is hated. This is something that we can ask for ourselves. We can plead with those who hate and encourage those who are hated. We can mediate between those who hate one another. Yet this problem also will confront us with a great difficulty. A person who hates may find a transcendental reason, such as the love of Christ, why he should stop hating, and this becomes more important for him than his reasons for hating. This, of course, means that he undergoes a spiritual transformation, a conversion. But what of those who do not? How are we to help them? How are we to help people to find it easier not to hate? Anglican Archbishop William Temple wrote, "More potent than school or even than home, as a moral influence, is the whole structure of society, and especially its economic structure. This fixes for all their place in the general scheme, and the way in which they gain and keep that place of necessity determines a great deal of their conduct and profoundly influences their outlook upon life. To be the instrument of God's peace is not to confine oneself to the field of personal relationships, but to concern oneself also with the problems of human society: hunger, poverty, injustice, cruelty, exploitation, and war." Some Christians argue that if we would only change men, then society itself would change. That there is some truth in this, none of us doubts. But the full truth is that we must try both to change man and to change society. There are some changes in man that cannot be achieved without some changes in society. The front is wider than that of pure evangelism. Such a view arouses opposition, anger, and even hatred among anti-change Christians. They call it the social gospel and regard it as an adulteration of the teaching of Christ. We shall have to deal later with this opposition, this anger, and even this hatred.